Welcome back to another Metroid 2 remake. I am your host, Alex, also known as Solinus Dracone, and with me is Rambler81. Hello, Rambler.
Good day, everybody.
Alright, so, this is kind of second take recording here. Unfortunately, we had quite a marathon session the other night where we had recorded like 6 episodes worth. We got like really far. And then, at the end of all of that, I found out that, unfortunately, none of the game audio or Rambler's voice was coming in. It was just my voice talking over dead silence. So there went like 2 hours worth of recording. So I just went ahead and replayed back up to the point that I left off with Torizo there. The downside is, unfortunately, some of the surprise is going to be lost out of my voice when things happen, but I think we'll still strive for the same level of awesomeness that we did before. So anyways, we've got the space jump after a hard-fought battle, and now it's just time to do a little bit of explore about, see what we can find in this crazy mess. New log entry can fuck itself.
I forget the purpose of this location. I guess the general manufactory.
Well, let me look at the log then, since you're gonna bring that shit up.
Which some of the stuff is pretty fascinating, because I don't recall if we discussed it in an earlier recording or the recording that we lost, is that how essentially the makers of this game kind of actually gave each area a purpose and a design.
Yep, and this is the industrial complex where they make their weapons of war. This is actually fortuitous enough because we just began recording really only a day or so after hearing the news that Nintendo kind of, had the content pulled from the hosting servers for this game. Obviously, the developer did this without Nintendo's consent, and we all knew that shit was going to happen, that he'd get a DMCA of some kind at some point. So, nobody's really surprised about it. It sucks, but really, what choice do they have? Nintendo can't just let somebody go fucking around with their property. It's just not done.
Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate, and again, like, for this project to be so fully realized, and I'm being a bit generous when I have this kind of general idea that perhaps Nintendo's probably known about this since its inception back in, 2008?
Oh, they guaranteed have to have known. I even think that this guy had some drama with that already, that he probably already got some, hey, you better watch yourself warnings from Nintendo, but he kept on doing it, they couldn't really do anything about it, but now that he's got a full game released, then, yeah.
Yeah. So, the project did get finished and realized, unlike, say, boss battle.
We can still talk.
Yeah, but, what was my point? Yeah, well, remember that 3D remake of, screw this fight, huh? The 3D remake of Chrono Trigger got essentially shut down, a week or two after they actually publicly announced it, about a couple years back.
Yeah, so really the consequences here are that, unfortunately, while places like Mediafire, SourceForge, the actual file storage places are, no longer carrying it, you can probably still get the game in torrents. And, it's not like you don't get to play the game, it's just going to be a little bit more effort on your part if you want to actually get the game for yourself. So, just they can't do anything about torrents. They know that torrents are practically untraceable. That's why they always go after Pirate Bay and Speed Torrents and all that, because those are the places that host torrent files. But since the actual content isn't really hosted anywhere that they can track, torrents are probably going to be unkillable for quite some time.
So at least there is a way to get this if you didn't get the initial rush, which that was actually kind of strange for me, because I'm usually slow to actually get around to picking up this kind of stuff, but then I kind of got to downloading it the day or two before it got shut down, so yeah. Yay for me.
And really, we have to think about something that Nintendo, they're being given a lot of hate right now. That's understandable. The fans would be like, fuck Nintendo for taking down this wonderful fan game instead of buying it out from them, which, I hold that they could have bought it out. But the thing is that Nintendo, they probably don't want to spend that money right now, and also, they cannot be seen to let somebody just up and make a project with one of their IPs, and, they have to say something. They have to, look, you can't go fucking around with our software, with our stuff, that's our stuff. So they have to actually say something official to discourage people from completely taking over their IPs, or else it sets precedent. So, why do you think they don't give a shit really about all those Mario homebrews? Yeah. Anyways, also Speed Boost.
Pegasus boots.
Yeah, Pegasus boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to say something about it. They have to take some kind of official action on the matter. But at the same time, I'm sure that they're rather flattered that somebody went to all this trouble and made this game. So who knows? Maybe it'll become in the cards later on that this developer, this gentleman who did this game, wonderful job of it, might actually get a little bit of money from Nintendo for his efforts.
I would see he gets money, but I would be very surprised if he would use this as a sort of reference if he actually decides to get into like proper professional game development, like as a profession. But I mean,
exactly. So I mean, nothing's lost here, guys. Just remember that nothing has been lost. You can still play the game if you know how to get your hands on that sort of thing. And the dude is still going to continue to work. He never actually received a formal DMCA, He did not receive a cease and desist. So, let that tell you what it tells you.
And also on the subject of copyright law, like something very similar that I just got reminded of. Would you remember the project Squirrels by Mojang?
Not really. I don't know it per se.
Okay, I'm not even actually sure if it actually got released, but people were kind of hating on Bethesda because they actually went after Mojang because the game was named Scrolls, which was very, well, to say similar to the Elder Scrolls series that they make, right?
So it was purely based upon the name.
Pretty much, and even like a lot of people involved were like, yeah, we know this is kind of stupid. Like, the two products are very, very different things, but we do have to actually go and protect our copyright. That is a part of copyright law, that you actually have to go after it and say, no, we do stake a claim in this name, otherwise you can actually lose it.
And that's something that we always have to be aware of in this day and age, is that we live in a situation where it's still gray area. Precedents have not really been set for, digital stuff like this. Like, if you are a creator of digital online content, then it's so easy for someone to go out and steal your work. It really is. So the world at large hasn't worked out how to deal with things that are online in this fashion, that are technically, publicly accessible. And nobody's going to be able to just go out and start to file copyright on, let's say you release a song. It's to file copyright and all that, it takes a lot of time and money and all that. So with that sort of thing, the companies that stand to lose the most, like, they've got mouths to feed, they've got thousands of employees, they have to take action. They have to ensure that their future is okay. And any day, at any point, these copyright trolls can come in and just steal an IP. So they have to preempt that. They have to say this sort of thing belongs to us. So it sucks that they're trying to take over the word scrolls in general, but I get where they're coming from.
And I think there is like some difference between a case like that and, let's say, genuine copyright trolls. If you remember the Edge copyright fiasco from a couple years ago as well.
I don't know the Edge. What was that all about?
So there was this quote-unquote game developer. I'm actually being a bit disingenuous there, because there was this UK-based, I believe it was UK-based, game company that was called Edge Games.
Yeah.
And so they had this copyright way back in the early 80s, I believe, and they actually produced games for Commodore 64, your ZX Spectrums, like the Amstrads, those kind of machines there.
Yeah.
So the thing is, as they went on in years, they didn't really do any sort of development, but rather they're actually going after anyone and anything that had the word Edge in their names, for game titles, movies, even publications.
And did they actually even put out a product of any kind?
Not really. After the 80s, they didn't do a whole, pretty much almost nothing.
So they found a new business model to capitalize on, it sounds like.
Exactly, and I think they got hit the hardest whenever they went after EA when they released Mirror's Edge. If you remember that game.
Yeah, that's a little bit ambitious, isn't it?
I think that actually was the case that got him shut down, because he was trying to prove oh yeah, I still because the one thing again with copyright is that you do have to also continue to make use of that IP name when you're trying to copyright, right? So.
I suppose.
So the thing is, he was trying to prove that, oh yeah, like in the mid-2000s, like I'm still making use of Edge, and he was like submitting like proof on like floppy disks and such, right?
And so he took on one of the biggest, most litigious game manufacturers of all time and said, you know, this is gonna be my shit. That's balls right there. You have to give them points for balls.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily effective at it though, because essentially people were looking at the stuff that he was submitting, and it's like, okay, so you're telling us that you did this recently, like on a XP computer, but they were actually able to look at the format of the disk and stuff. So this is done on like a Windows 95 machine or something like that, and it was done like earlier or something. Or maybe it was the other way around. I couldn't quite remember. It was like a long time ago I read about this. But essentially, they were able to pull up like all the bullshit they were trying to say, and it was like, you know what, you just can't do this anymore. Like, you're just blowing smoke out of everyone's asses, and you know. Yeah, so he got shut down, finally.
So that pretty much is going to have to conclude our talk on the whole matter of copyrights for the video, because it's been nothing but talking about copyrights thus far, and we got to focus on the game a little bit. Rambler, how do you suppose we go about getting that super missile down there?
You need a super missile first, I think.
Then.
Yeah, I think if you bomb the floor around here, there's actually right about there, I think is the, so, yeah, there you go.
There we go. Okay, so something to look forward to. Because we're already, you know, halfway through the video. So this area right here, it is kind of a pain in the ass, mainly because of these fucking bots. I hate these guys so much.
I think I did complain a little bit that they are kind of like beam sponges. Like, they can take a whole lot of hits to destroy with your standard beam. I think it does encourage you to start using your missiles too, but you need those for the Metroid as well, so it becomes a bit of a balancing act.
Yeah, just like Samus is doing right now. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this this Shine Spark puzzle out of the way. The actual upload of this episode and the recording timing had to be delayed, unfortunately, simply because, well...
Let's not talk about that.
Well, no, not so much. That's, you know, dude, not gonna bring your drama into a public forum. Anyways, if anybody who follows my channel has seen the video on how I had some house renovations being done, it was impossible to record anything during the last 2 days simply because we had roofers out here, you know, just improving our roof, replacing all the soffit and everything like that. So just from dawn till dusk, knock, 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 bang, 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 drill, drill, drill. It was impossible to record anything during the day. Plus, I normally don't wake up till about noon my time because I work nights. And, you know, I had been on basically 3 or 4 hours of sleep prior to any opportunity to record. So it's just one of those things where we couldn't get it done. Plus, I was pretty bummed out about the whole, you know, we lost all that footage and none of this can be spontaneous at this point. So, you know, we're coming out late with this just a little bit, but hopefully it's not going to harm too much. Interesting that guy dipped into the lava and got hurt.
Oh, yeah. I will let people know, like, by the time we record this, I've actually finished the game now, so I will say, for the benefit of anyone who gets to this point of the game, they're playing it themselves, which I don't know if you're watching this first. Anyways, don't bother going in the water, there's nothing there.
Yep, not worth coming back for, unless you're just a stickler about that sort of thing. God damn, I need to put some distance here.
Yeah. But I will say, those robots will follow you down there, and they will eventually just kill themselves doing so. It is actually kind of hilarious to watch.
It's not exactly the most effective way to do this. Alright, come in that thing. There we go.
There we go.
Rough battles. Whoa! Don't take an acid bath after fighting a Metroid.
Yeah. And I don't get the outright statement. This isn't acid, or I guess it is kind of acid. It's not lava, but it is specifying the logs as being some sort of corrosive, like
fucking
high
melt
temperature
your face shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost thought you went under there.
I almost did, but thank goodness for the grab face thing. Alright, dick on this. Mother. Alright.
I really gotta pull up a map though, because I think we probably discussed like how much like this adds to the existing areas, but there's a good amount of areas that are actually added content-wise, like space-wise.
Yeah, they've done an extra bit of everything with this, including this crap right here. Which I'll be honest, this is not my favorite part of the game. This is where you have to work your way to getting your first super missile.
It is creative, I'll give it that, but it is a mite tedious.
It is. Like, so, I made the comment in the original attempt at recording, I don't need a mini-game in my game. You know, don't need an actual... we're playing a good game right now. We're playing a game that's got full content, and I don't need to add extra crap like this onto it. But it's alright, you know, it's only one time, it doesn't last all that long, and, yeah.
If nothing else, it colors and sort of adds a bit of character to the area.
Lets you play as Skip like Daybot.
Yeah.
Hoppity hoppity hop. These guys are assholes, these Skip like Daybots. So the idea...
You're the one in control.
Exactly. The idea here is you've got your jump button. Small presses or tiny hops, hold it down for a bigger jump. Obviously he's going over to a pile of super missiles here, which, you know, we gotta blast our way open to get to the next area.
We almost need to have some sort of like music on top of this.
Well, there is game music.
Oh, I mean, it's a little dedicated, like do.
Another day in the life of Skip like Daybot. Bam. And that's all you have to deal with. Fortunately, it does turn off these whirly turbine things. Doesn't turn off the press bombs, though, here. Bam. And I believe I made the comment, Samus Aran versus hydraulic press. It was amusing to me.
Yes. Yeah, well, what was it in Portal 2? It's like Thomas Edison versus big mashy spike plates.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Super missiles! Alright, so now we've got the super missiles. They do, I believe, 5 times normal damage.
Yeah.
Fact check.
Yeah, well, that's what it said there, right?
Yeah.
4
okay.
times. But yeah, they pack a punch. You don't get a lot of them, but
they do pack a punch, and I believe that obvious discussion about how they're a very finite resource and you have to depend upon them more later on in the game has come up, but then that pretty much tells you all you need to say about that, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a balance thing, because I don't want to say they're completely overused in the later Metroid games, and some of them they actually just turn just straight upgrades to your standard missiles anyways.
Ow. Fuck you, Skip like Daybot. Use the wave beam to your advantage, folks. It goes through walls.
So at least all the weapons at least have their own applications.
Exactly. And
So-
don't think you're going to use the super missiles to cheese Metroids, because you see what a hard time you have hitting these bastards with the actual regular missiles. Imagine that shit later on.
Yeah, like actually useful super missile skills are actually very much needed for later on. I can't put sentences together.
I need to remember that I'm very fucking fragile. Fucking son of a gun. Little opportunistic creep. Well, at least this is a good early way to get a few more extra super missiles there. Oh, they're still there. Fuck off. I am in really low health right now. Okay, things have pulled off out here. I really hate these little guys, those little fucking 2-bar thingies. I'm gonna call these Kit Kats.
Yeah, I try to remember the name of what essentially in Mega Man 3 they had these enemies that were essentially a nut and a bolt that combined together and chased you around the room.
Which, you know, those are easy enough to actually stop before they become a nut and a bolt.
Well, actually no, because they're invincible until they actually finish combining, and then, yeah. So you gotta sit there, wait for them to get out of the way, and then blast them, essentially.
You can't possibly come down here, okay.
No.
But am I about to die? That would suck.
Where's the next save point? Or I guess you're kind of done this way anyways.
Yeah, this particular little zone is done. Ow. No, screw this shit. Shine Spark time.
Yeah, I guess we can discuss some of the,
fuck.
yeah. Actually, I did find out. I don't know if we discussed it in the last episode, but the Shine Spark, like
We had 6 last episodes, man.
yeah. I would get the Shine Spark then, anyways. But in the other Metroid games, where you can use a Shine Spark to fly into an incline and continue your running there,
Yeah, they took that shit out.
actually you still can, except it has to be like a shallower incline. So like not this 45-degree angle. It's more like the 25-degree angle that'll show up later.
Yes.
With those, you
25-degree
can,
anal.
yeah. So with those, you can do the continue run. That's going to be required to get some of the later upgrades.
Exactly. Don't forget to switch back to regular missiles. By the way, you have to use missiles to destroy these blocks. Don't use super missiles on these blocks. That's completely Sprout Lord right there. And let us not forget that we do have a certain puzzle to get to.
Oh, okay.
That worked. Little Shine Spark puzzle to get there. Good. Another mechanic that only seemed to honestly be in Super Metroid is that when you're Shine Sparking, it is draining life. That doesn't happen here.
Thankfully, that was a bit of a strange limitation they put on that.
It could be overused. I mean, let's face it, that Super Metroid is the gold standard as far as Metroid games go. There's the range of movement and fluidity and all that. That there's nothing that tops Super Metroid in my eyes as the best Metroid game of all time. End of story.
Well, I think there is a good reason why it's featured so heavily in the speedruns, such as Summer Games and Awesome
God,
Games.
yeah, there's so many ways you can exploit the mechanics. But that's enough for this particular episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Once again, my name is Alex, also known as Solinus Dracone. With me, as usual, as always, has been Rambler81. Goodbye, Rambler.
Good day.
And this has been AM2R. Bye!